Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the world of AI. But we're not just going to look at like the exciting possibilities of AI,
Right.
but also some of the potential pitfalls,
Right.
the things that can kind of trip us up along the way.
Exactly.
We're going to be looking at some insights from AI expert Marynês Pereira,
Yeah.
who has a lot to say about how to really navigate the AI landscape responsibly
Yeah.
and safely, so we don't end up in one of those disastrous situations.
Yeah, and I think the article really hits home because the AI market is expected to reach almost $2 trillion by 2030.
Wow.
So it's clear that AI is this wave that's coming.
We can't ignore it.
We can't ignore it. But I think Pereira's work really reminds us that this rapid growth, all this money pouring in, can create problems, right?
Yeah.
Particularly for companies that are rushing into AI adoption.
Without really thinking it through.
Without understanding the risks and having the foundations in place.
It's really like, I love how Pereira uses this analogy of comparing poorly implemented AI to giving someone who's never driven a car before
Oh, yeah.
the keys to a supercar.
Like a 16-year-old.
Right. It might sound exciting,
It's going to be fun.
but the reality is you're probably going to end up in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, totally. And it's happening more than you might think, right?
Yeah.
You have all these companies.
Jumping on the AI bandwagon.
Exactly. They're so eager to get in there that they're neglecting the really crucial elements.
The things you need for success.
Yeah. They might be lacking the right processes, the right data quality.
Even the people.
Even the people to manage the AI effectively.
Yeah. It's like, what's the analogy I think of? It's like buying a really state-of-the-art kitchen appliance.
Okay.
But then never bothering to read the instructions or plug it in correctly.
Right.
And then you're wondering, like, why isn't this working? Why is it smoking?
Exactly. Right.
And Pereira actually highlights this with a real-world example, right? This airline that decided to implement an AI system for their customer service.
Right.
Okay, great idea. Streamline things, make things more efficient. But because of a lack of proper training, the system started offering customers a year of first-class flights.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine
A year.
the financial
Talk about a PR nightmare.
and reputational damage that could cause? This isn't just a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah.
These types of AI mishaps are happening across industries.
Yeah, and with potentially huge consequences.
Huge consequences.
So let's unpack
We're looking into it.
some of these real-world examples that Pereira's article actually outlines 5 case studies.
Yeah.
I think these are so interesting because they illustrate exactly how things can go wrong when AI isn't implemented thoughtfully. And the first one is what she calls the out-of-control chatbot.
Right.
Now, chatbots are everywhere these days, right?
Yeah, they're all popping up.
They're promising to streamline customer service, improve efficiency.
Make things easy.
But in this case...
this company implemented a chatbot, but they didn't give it enough data.
Without really the oversight.
Without the oversight.
Yeah, human oversight.
Right. And so instead of being helpful and giving the right answers, the chatbot started giving incorrect answers and even started fabricating solutions.
Oh, wow.
So it created chaos and frustration for the customers trying to use it.
It's like the chatbot developed a mind of its own and just went rogue.
Yeah, totally.
Making stuff up.
It's a great example of how AI needs that management.
Yeah.
Just like anything else.
Like any other complex system.
Right.
So next up, we have what Pereira calls the discriminatory algorithm.
Right.
And this one raises some really serious concerns about bias in AI.
It does.
This case involved a recruiting company that was using AI to sift through resumes.
Trying to make things easier.
Great idea in theory, right? Streamline the hiring process, make things more efficient.
Exactly.
But what happened?
The algorithm ended up rejecting resumes from women and minorities.
Oh, wow.
Because of biases.
They were baked in, basically.
That were present in the historical data that it was trained on.
Yeah, and so they had to completely overhaul their hiring practices.
Yeah, it really shows how AI is a reflection of the data it's trained on.
Right.
If the data is flawed or biased.
The AI is going to inherit those flaws.
It's going to learn those biases and repeat them.
Yeah, so this is a really important thing that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah, it's not just about fairness.
It's about people's livelihoods.
It can have real-world consequences for people's opportunities.
Yeah. So, moving on, we have a case that Pereira calls the con artist AI.
This one's interesting.
This one might be particularly relevant to small businesses.
Yeah.
That are exploring AI solutions, right?
They're trying to get in on this.
Everyone's hearing about it. It's the new hot thing.
Right. Everyone's excited.
You got to get on board.
Yeah, get on board.
And so what happens?
So this company was enticed by this promise of a cheap, personalized virtual assistant.
Sounds fantastic.
Right.
Sign me up.
It's going to solve all your problems.
It's going to do everything for me.
And it turned out to be a scam.
A scam?
It was just a generic program.
So it wasn't personalized at all?
With no actual personalization or support. It was just like a very basic...
It was like AI in name only.
It was AI in name only, yeah, just a name.
So it's a reminder that, this landscape is still evolving. And there are people out there who are looking to take advantage of the hype.
Totally.
So companies really need to be discerning.
You got to do your research.
Do your research before you invest in any AI solution.
And don't fall for promises that sound too good to be true.
Yeah, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, look for companies with a proven track record.
Yeah, and a focus on building truly effective AI solutions.
Right.
So the next case study that Pereira talks about involves an online store that decided to use AI for dynamic pricing.
Okay, interesting.
Dynamic pricing.
Sounds good.
It can be great.
Right.
If you do it right.
If you do it right.
It can really help you optimize your pricing,
Yeah, adjust to the market.
Adjust to the market, maximize your profits.
Yeah.
But in this case, they didn't set up any clear rules or limits.
Oh.
And so the AI
That happened.
started setting absurd prices for products.
Oh, no.
Imagine buying a toothbrush for $500.
$500 for a toothbrush. Come on, what?
Or, a pack of gum for $1,000.
That's crazy.
Right. And so, of course,
What happened?
customer complaints soared.
Of course.
Sales plummeted.
Yeah.
It sounds comical.
It does.
But it really wasn't a joke for that business.
No, it highlights how important it is to have those guidelines in place.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with something like pricing.
Yeah, you're dealing with money.
Right.
You got to be careful.
Right. So lack of proper controls can really allow AI to spiral.
Even in simple applications.
Yeah. So finally, Pereira brings us the case of the dehumanizing customer service system.
Ooh.
This is something that we're seeing more and more of.
Yes, unfortunately.
And this particular example involves an insurance company that decided to implement a fully automated customer service system.
Okay.
So
no human.
No option to speak to a human representative at all.
Oh.
And of course, people who have complex issues or sensitive issues were just left feeling frustrated.
Totally abandoned.
And abandoned.
Totally.
It's an example of how AI, while it can improve efficiency, sometimes it leads to a less humane and a less effective customer experience.
It can take away that human touch that sometimes you need.
And so companies need to be really careful about that.
Yeah, not to sacrifice that empathy and human connection in the pursuit of automation.
So what's interesting to me is that we've seen all these examples where AI implementations have gone wrong, right?
Yes.
From chatbots gone rogue.
To discriminatory algorithms, to this dehumanizing customer service.
Yeah.
But it's not because the AI itself is flawed.
Right.
It's because of how it's being used.
Oh, that's being implemented.
Yeah. And Pereira makes this really compelling argument that a lot of companies are simply not prepared.
They're not ready
for AI implementation.
They lack the processes, the procedures, the fundamental understanding of how AI works.
And so it's leading to this situation where they're essentially setting themselves up for failure.
Right.
It's like they're so excited to get this shiny new AI toy that they forget to read the instruction manual.
Right. Or they don't even know there is an instruction manual.
Right. And as we've seen, that can lead to some pretty disastrous consequences.
Exactly. Yeah, and Pereira even goes a little bit deeper into this, talking about the Cartesian AI trap.
What's that?
This is where AI systems are programmed to always provide an answer, even when they don't have enough information.
Oh, so instead of admitting, I don't know, they just kind of make stuff up.
They make stuff up.
That's a little unnerving.
It is. And it can lead to a cascade of problems.
Yeah.
From, spreading misinformation to making decisions based on faulty data.
Right, right.
So imagine an AI system that's designed to provide medical diagnoses, right?
Okay.
If it's programmed to always give an answer even when it's uncertain, it could lead to misdiagnoses.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially harmful treatments.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's a little sobering, right? This pressure to always have an answer can be counterproductive.
So what's the solution? How can companies avoid falling into these AI traps and make sure that they're implementing AI responsibly?
Well, Pereira argues that we need kind of a fundamental shift
Okay.
in our approach to AI, right? It's not about the hype. It's not about quick fixes.
It's about building that solid foundation.
Exactly.
For responsible AI development.
And implementation.
That makes sense. It's like we need to treat AI implementation with the same level of care and planning that we would any other major business initiative.
Absolutely. Right? We need to have those processes and procedures in place.
And I think the first thing is like recognizing that AI isn't a magic bullet.
Right. It's a tool.
It's a powerful tool.
But it requires careful planning, execution, and ongoing oversight.
So what are some of those concrete steps that companies can take to ensure responsible AI implementation?
Well, one crucial step is investing in data curation.
Data curation. So it's not just about having a lot of data.
It's about having the right data.
It's about the quality of the data.
Exactly.
That you're using to train these AI systems.
Companies need to ensure that the data is accurate, that it's up to date, and that it's relevant.
To what they're trying to do.
To the task at hand.
Yeah,
right.
Makes sense. What else?
And then you have to establish those clear processes and procedures for AI development and deployment.
Like you were saying, like any other business initiative, right?
Yeah. Like any other business initiative. So this includes defining roles and responsibilities, setting clear goals and metrics, and creating mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating the AI performance.
It's like a whole framework.
It is a framework
that guides the entire AI lifecycle.
From development to deployment and beyond.
And beyond. And I think one of the key things, too, is this human oversight.
Absolutely.
Right. AI should never be seen as a replacement for human intelligence.
It should augment and enhance.
It's about finding that balance.
Finding that balance.
Between automation and human intervention.
So humans are still in control.
Humans are accountable for the decisions made by AI systems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to maintain that critical human element, particularly in areas where judgment and empathy, ethical considerations are important.
You know, Pereira makes this interesting comparison to the mobile app craze.
Oh, yeah.
We saw back around like 2012.
Everyone was making apps.
Remember that? Everyone was rushing to develop mobile apps, even if they didn't really solve a problem or have a clear purpose.
Yeah, it was a lot of excitement and innovation.
But a lot of wasted effort and resources, too.
Yeah, a lot of those apps.
Useless apps.
Faded into oblivion.
And she's warning that we're kind of seeing a similar pattern now with AI, where companies are jumping on the bandwagon, offering these generic solutions, making grand promises.
But they lack that substance, right? It's a classic case of hype over substance.
So just like with the mobile app craze, the key is to be discerning, right?
Be discerning, you know, really focus on what are your needs?
Yeah.
What are you trying to address?
What problem are you trying to solve?
Are these solutions backed by solid data, expertise?
Are they prioritizing ethical considerations?
Exactly.
Because it seems like a lot of these issues stem from this lack of preparedness.
Yeah.
And this rush to implement AI without a clear understanding of the potential pitfalls.
Exactly.
So for individuals out there, what can we do?
Well, I think education is key, right? Individuals need to make an effort to understand AI.
Yeah.
What its capabilities are, what its limitations are.
You don't need to become a data scientist.
Right. You don't need to be an expert.
But you need to have a basic understanding.
A basic understanding of how it works.
And how it's impacting our lives.
So we can make informed decisions about how we interact with AI.
Both in our personal lives.
Personal and professional.
And our professional lives.
Right.
And I think it's not just about learning the technology.
Right. It's also about understanding the ethical and social implications.
Oh, yeah.
Like what values are we embedding in these systems? How are they impacting our workplaces, our relationships, even our society as a whole?
There's a big question.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Well, there are a lot of resources available, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, there are online courses, there are articles.
Books, documentaries,
podcasts.
There's no excuse to not learn about AI.
There's no excuse. And it's not just about passive learning either.
Yeah.
It's about having conversations.
With other people.
Sharing your thoughts and insights.
Challenging assumptions.
You know, create a dialogue, both within ourselves and with others.
And with others about how we want AI to shape our world.
And then it's also about the choices that we make, right? As consumers, we can actually influence the development of AI by supporting companies that are prioritizing those ethical considerations.
Like voting with our wallets.
Exactly. You know, putting our money where our mouth is.
And that can have a real impact.
It can, you know, because if companies see that consumers are demanding this, They're going to prioritize it.
They're going to respond to that.
Right.
It's kind of empowering to think that we can each play a role in shaping the future of AI.
It's not predetermined.
It's something that we are actively shaping through our choices and our actions.
And it's not just about avoiding the pitfalls, right?
It's about harnessing the potential.
Harnessing the potential for good,
AI has so much power to address some of these challenges facing humanity.
Right.
Like climate change, healthcare, education.
We need to be intentional about how we develop and deploy it.
But we need to make sure that it's used for the benefit of all.
For the benefit of all, not just a select few.
And, going back to that example that Pereira gave about the airline that had the AI system offering free first-class flights, it makes you wonder how many of these incidents are happening that we don't even know about.
Right. It highlights the need for greater transparency.
And accountability.
Accountability in AI.
Companies need to be more open about their AI implementations.
Yeah, both the successes and the failures.
So we can all learn from each other.
Share that knowledge.
Create this culture of shared learning.
And continuous improvement.
Rather than trying to hide our mistakes.
Right.
And that brings us back to the importance of human intelligence.
Yes.
In this whole AI landscape.
We can't just rely on algorithms and machines.
We need human judgment.
Empathy, ethical reasoning to guide the development and the deployment of AI.
It's like the more we dive into the world of AI, the more we realize that the real key to unlocking its potential lies in understanding and embracing our own humanity.
That's a really good point. AI is powerful, but it's a tool that needs to be wielded responsibly. And that responsibility ultimately rests with us.
Us humans.
The humans who create and use AI.
That's right.
So it's like we've come full circle. We started by talking about all the things that can go wrong with AI.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, the key to avoiding these pitfalls is our own human intelligence and judgment.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even as we're developing all these increasingly sophisticated systems, that human element is still super important.
It's essential.
And we need to be active participants.
Not just passive observers.
Not just letting it happen to us.
So how do we do that? How do we become more active participants in shaping the future of AI? Well, I think one of the most crucial steps is to engage in dialogue.
Okay.
About the ethical implications of AI.
So it's not just about the technical skills.
No.
It's about having the right conversations.
It's about having the right conversations about the values that we're embedding in these systems, how they're impacting our lives.
And these conversations need to be happening everywhere, right?
Everywhere, at all levels of society, from the classroom to the boardroom to, government hearings.
It's about creating that awareness.
That awareness.
Of the potential benefits, but also the risks.
Right. And also fostering a sense of shared responsibility.
For its development.
Because it's something that's going to impact us all.
And I think it's important to remember that these conversations aren't always going to be easy.
Right. They're going to be difficult.
There are going to be disagreements.
Different perspectives, complex trade-offs.
But that's part of the process.
It is. It's about working through those complexities.
And finding those solutions.
Solutions that align with our values.
With our shared values.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think another important thing to remember is the importance of diversity and inclusion in the AI field.
Absolutely.
Because if the people who are designing and building these systems don't represent the diversity of humanity, then we run the risk of creating systems that perpetuate existing biases.
Exactly. So we need more diversity in the teams.
Yeah.
More women, more people of color, people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, people with disabilities.
All contributing their perspectives and their experiences.
It's to the development of AI.
And the more diverse the teams are, the more likely we are to create AI systems that are fair, equitable, and beneficial for everyone.
And it's not just about the code.
It's about the people who are writing the code.
It's about the people.
And I think we also need to talk about the role of regulation and oversight.
We do.
Because AI is becoming more powerful.
More pervasive.
More pervasive.
We need to have some guidelines in place.
Some safeguards.
To make sure it's used responsibly.
About finding that balance, right?
Always finding that balance.
Between fostering innovation and protecting against potential harm.
And that's going to require a lot of dialogue and collaboration.
With policymakers, industry leaders, researchers, the public.
It's going to take all of us working together.
It's a collective effort.
Yeah, and being informed.
Yeah.
And willing to speak up for what we believe in.
The future of AI is not predetermined.
No, it's something we're creating right now.
It's something that we are actively shaping.
Through the choices we make.
Through our choices and our actions.
And that's a powerful message to end on.
Yeah.
The future of AI is not something to be feared.
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity to create a world where technology serves humanity.
Right, not the other way around.
Not the other way around.
So let's embrace that opportunity.
Let's do it.
Let's engage in the conversations, make those informed choices, and work together to build a future where AI is a force for good in the world.
Absolutely, I agree.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
Our deep dive into AI.
Into the world of AI and its potential pitfalls.
Yes.
We hope this has sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions, and inspired you to become more involved in shaping the future of this really transformative technology.
And remember, this conversation doesn't end here.
Yeah.
You know, keep learning, keep questioning, keep pushing for a future where AI is used to really empower and uplift humanity.
And thank you all for joining us on this journey.
It's been a good one.
Until next time, this is The Deep Dive signing off.